Noelle, what is going on? Welcome to the podcast. How are you?
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm pretty good. How are you?
Thanks for coming on. I love your TikTok account. I feel like you might be one of my new favorite personalities on there.
Oh, well, thank you. That totally happened by accident. Um, but I'm gonna roll with it.
You were telling me before you woke up one day and your one video had like 100,000 likes on it.
Oh, it was so insane. I filmed a video in my pajamas, like no effort put into this thing, and I posted it before I went to work. And then when I came out of work, I checked my phone and it was blowing up. And I was like, hello, welcome to Jersey Born Italian teaches you how to speak Guido. Our first lesson, the letter C becomes a G. For example, this pasta. Cavatelli? No, Gavadil. Now you may be thinking, that's not how that's spelled. It ends E-L-L-I. It doesn't matter. That's how we say it. The Jersey Guidos do not care about spelling. Which brings me to rule number 2. The ends of words are never how they're spelled. That's not how you say it. For example, this pasta, manicotti, monagot. Where does it come from? I don't know. The same thing applies to ricotta cheese. No, that's not how you say it. It's rigot. I've also heard it referred to as pot cheese, but I always thought my grandma was saying pot cheese. And lastly, your favorite Italian soup, pasta fagioli? That's how it's spelled. No! Throw the spelling to the wind. It's pasta fagioli, baby. When I posted that video, I had like 600 TikTok followers, and now I'm up to 20,000. So,
This popular.
yeah, that one video just it took off, and I was surprised, but here we are.
I genuinely didn't know that that was a real thing. Like goobellini is probably now my new favorite word. I didn't know that was an actual word people used.
It is, and some people in the comments like to tell me that I'm wrong, and I know it's not a real Italian word. I know that. We're talking New Jersey slang here. Like my dad always called that a goobellini. I didn't make that up. You can look it up on Urban Dictionary if you want, and sure, there's different regional pronunciations and stuff like that, but everything I say is at least a little bit true.
So what part of Jersey are you in, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, no, that's fine. I'm a North Jersey girl. There's kind of like North versus South, and I'm definitely a North. I've moved around a bunch, so I never really know how to answer that question. I've also lived in Essex County, which is like a big, I call the Italian Americans meatballs. That's a big meatball area, Essex County.
Well, so the first time I ever heard the term meatball used was obviously on, you probably already know what I'm going to say, Jersey Shore.
Yeah.
That's kind of my only limited knowledge of Jersey, but I know they kind of exaggerated their personalities on that show quite a bit just for the sake
Yes,
of
and a
TV.
lot of them are from New York, actually. So,
Oh, really?
yeah, I think most of them,
Oh, wow.
most of the cast members are from New York, but
I mean, do you remember when that show blew up?
I was a little young-ish. I didn't really watch too much of it. I had friends who did, but I was in like the 7th grade or so when that was like really
Oh,
popular.
wow.
I did have an experience with Snooki one time when I was on the beach. I was on the boardwalk in Seaside Heights, which I believe is where they filmed Jersey Shore, and it was like 2010 or whatever. So I was getting one of those things wrapped in my hair, those like thread wrap things that the Shore girls did, and I was thinking I was really cool. And as I'm sitting in the chair, a cameraman backs up and Snooki walks by, and I was like, "That was Snooki!" So yeah, they did film in Jersey, but I think a lot of the cast are New Yorkers.
You're making me feel old because I was like 19.
Oh, that's
And
okay.
it's just dawning on me. I have this habit every time somebody comes on the podcast, I never know how old they are.
Well, a lot of the comments on my TikTok videos, people don't believe how old I am. I think I look a little younger than I am. I'm here. Do you want to guess how old I am?
I'm gonna get.
I'm putting you on the spot, I
You're
know.
probably. I mean, you're probably like early 20s, but you look like you could be like 17, 18,
So I'm
19.
25.
Okay,
Um,
I was kind of right. Okay.
yeah, but a lot of the people in the comments think I'm like 16, 17. And I love that personally, but
It's kind of a good cast range, also.
yes,
You know what
that's
I
part
mean?
of the reason I like it. If you can play young, you can potentially play for longer. So,
Exactly. How old do you think I am?
well, you said you were like 19 at the time that Jersey
Yeah.
Shore.
Yeah.
So, um,
Hmm.
let's say like 32.
Wow, you're good. Yeah, I'll be 33 in May.
Wow, that's
Right on the
great.
dot.
That was a good guess. I did
Whoa.
not do the math in my head because I can't. I'm really bad at math, so that was a guess. But
You're good. You're good. Like for me though, I've noticed I still feel exactly the same as I did when I was like 23, and a lot of my friends are like, "Oh man, I'm tired all the time. My back hurts. Oh man." I'm just like, I can't. I feel great. I don't know what you're talking about. Like,
that's good. I feel tired all the time, but
oh really?
yeah.
So on your TikTok, you are I'm kind of confused because it's like you are a school teacher, but you're not a school teacher.
Yeah.
Like
So
what is it?
it's my day job. I don't want to be a
Okay.
teacher. That's not my passion,
Okay.
not my life's calling. And kids sometimes really push me. Um, I'm a substitute, so I do that sometimes, and I cover
Okay.
classes when teachers are absent, and they pay me for the day, and then I get to never see those kids again. Um, so that's what I do, and I'm not, filming TikToks or auditioning for things that people don't want me for, and.
Do you know another TikToker named Lay McNasty?
I don't think I do.
I've had him on the podcast. He's a school teacher, and I think you two should like
Oh
collab
wait,
on
wait,
something
wait. Is maybe I do know that guy.
because you both kind of have the same dry sense of humor.
Yeah,
You got
no, I
like,
totally know that guy. I love him. He's funny.
okay, well, Lay, I know you probably watched this, so I'm telling you, you should make collabs with Noelle here.
Hi. Hi.
So, okay, so do you not have to have a degree to be like a sub then, or?
No, not in New Jersey anyway. You need
Oh,
60
really?
college credits. I have a
Wow.
college degree, but you only need 60 credits. So it's like
Okay.
2 years worth of classes.
Okay. I imagine like you said you only do high school.
Yeah. Yeah. They don't take me seriously because they're all taller than me. Um, but
Hmm.
it's easier. Well, I don't know. I haven't really done the elementary kids, but I can just kind of sit there and they go on Google Classroom and they do their thing, and I make sure they don't light each other on fire.
Well, I mean, yeah, I don't know what's worse because Lay said he had a kid bring in some bird poop on his hand and had him sniff it. It's like I don't know. Do I want to deal with rowdy kids or like bird poop? I don't know.
Yeah, I had a class actually like a month ago, and they all started coughing, and I was like, "What is going on in this class? Why are they being so dramatic? Why is everybody coughing? What am I about to catch COVID? Like, what's happening?" Um, and then and it like spread throughout the room. It started towards the back, and then the kids started coughing closer and closer to me, and then it finally hit me, and I realized someone had sprayed pepper spray in the classroom, and that's why everyone was coughing. And I was like, wonderful. And there's nothing you can really do about pepper spray. You're just gonna cough for a while. And I was like, why did you do that? And the kid said it seemed like a good idea at the time, and yeah, really cool.
Yeah.
That was a good
So
day.
so I mean, I'm assuming you went to high school in Jersey as well
Yes.
then? What was that like going to high school in Jersey?
Um, It's all
Interesting.
right. I was not one of those like peaked in high school kids. I was a loser. My friends called themselves the nerd herd. I did not have that like movie high school experience. Or
Hmm.
maybe I did, just not from the main character's perspective. So,
Were you like a
um,
theater kid?
yeah. And a band kid, and a National Honor Society kid,
Oh
and a
wow.
improv club kid.
Hey. You were a what do they call it? A three act? What do they call that? A three you're
Like
a
a triple
triple.
threat?
Yeah, you're a triple threat before you even knew it.
I guess so. I guess so. Yeah.
There you
But
go.
high school in Jersey, I don't know, it was all right. I felt like I got a good education. My school was I thought we were academically challenged or no, no, I said that wrong. I thought we were challenged academically.
Hmm.
And I felt very prepared for college. My freshman year, I was like, this is easy. Like I thought this was gonna
That's
be hard.
good.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So I know that people like to make fun of New Jersey and we're the armpit of America or whatever, but most of our schools are pretty good.
That's
Uh,
that's good. Hey, going back to Jersey, like what do you think some misconceptions are about Jersey?
that's kind of a hard question because I feel like a lot of them have a grain of truth to them.
Hmm.
Um, we all do talk fast. There are a lot of bad drivers. Not me. I drive like Mr. Magoo. I drive like an old person. Like I'm eating the steering wheel. I can't reach the pedals if I don't. But I'm really short. I'm like I gotta sit right up there.
Really?
Yeah, I'm
I
like
would never
5'1".
guess that. You seem kind of lanky. That surprises me.
Nah, here, ready? Let's like.
I mean, that doesn't really prove anything. But so I've never been to New Jersey, and I'm sure a lot of people watching this probably haven't. So what
Yeah.
would you say like are some things people should visit if they go to New Jersey?
Well, going down the shore is kind of like the New Jersey quintessential experience, I think. I just
Mhm.
went down the shore for spring break last week. I went to Cape May, which is kind of like a nice, they've got a lot of Victorian houses. It's kind of like a classier version of the shore. If you want like a MTV Jersey Shore version of the Jersey Shore, I recommend Seaside, um, Belmar, those kind of places.
So how long have you been acting for?
Well, since I was a little kid, actually, my first ever acting job, I was in the fourth grade. You just see the back of my head in a movie. It's just, you don't see the front of me, you don't see my profile, it's just the back of my head. But my very first acting job was background work for a movie called All Good Things, which starred Ryan Gosling and Kirsten Dunst. And Kirsten Dunst was so sweet. I like if I ever see her, I'm gonna be like, I know you won't remember me, but you were so nice on the set of All Good Things. And she'll be like, wow, I'm old because you're an adult now. It was really fun. They kept us until like 1 in the morning, which they weren't supposed to do because child labor laws.
Oh,
And yeah, they gave me extra money though, so it was okay.
I guess are you union?
No,
Okay.
no. But when you're a minor, which I no longer am, obviously, but when you're a minor, there's a restriction on how many hours in a row you can work because you're a kid and they don't want to
Interesting.
exploit the children.
Yeah. Otherwise, Chris Hansen comes in. It looks like you've kind of been creating your own content as well.
Yeah, I did that
Okay.
more recently. So I went to school for theater and graduated in 2020. So that was not the best time to graduate with a theater degree. Not that there really was
Yeah.
ever a great time. But everything was closed. There were no opportunities happening. And I had like 4 films lined up that all got canceled and just
Oh
never happened.
wow.
Yeah, and so I was irritated. So
Mhm.
I was like, let's make our own. So I wrote a series. It's 10 episodes, like sitcom length episodes, and we filmed it at my church. And it aged me rapidly. It was so stressful, but it is done, and we did it. So we made a TV show.
Did you have a good time filming it though?
Yeah. Um,
Okay.
ever since I was in like second grade, I have said that I wanted to be an actor and I wanted to be a writer. And creating that series was doing both. I acted in it and I wrote the show. And I also was like producer and wore way too many hats. I had too many jobs, but I did the 2 things I really wanted to do.
Mhm.
So that's something I plan to continue doing. And that's one of the things I think is kind of great about being an actor today is that it's much more accessible to make your own stuff. The reason I got on TikTok is because I was bored during the pandemic and it was a way to be creative and, make almost like little movies.
Well, plus you have a very like quirky sense of humor that's super likable.
I try.
So like your series, have you thought about just pitching the pilot?
Yeah, so that's something that I would like to do. We filmed all 10, and I recently was in a class with not a casting director, with an agent, and her agency also handles distribution. And I was like, question, and asked her what she thought I should do with it. And she said, if it's perfect, then pitch it as the whole show. If it's not perfect, pitch it as a pilot, pitch it as an idea. And I was like, okay, it's not perfect. This was the first thing I've ever filmed.
Mhm.
So I would much rather pitch it as an idea and we can film it again and we can make it perfect.
I want to say I guess it depends on the deal because I know they can buy it at a flat rate and then you get royalties, but then they can pretty much change the script however they want.
Yeah, I am very protective of my writing.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's kind of like, oh, why are you changing that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, so
Like,
it would have to be, I'd have to negotiate, if I were to relinquish that somehow.
yeah.
It would have to be on my terms.
And then people can watch that on your YouTube channel, right?
So that's not on YouTube yet, actually. We put it up on
Oh,
Patreon because we wanted to try and make a few dollars to give the actors who all donated their time. The show is called Irreverent with a D instead of a T. It's not irreverent. That's the style of the show, but it's about a man who is pretending to be a church pastor so he doesn't have to pay taxes or buy himself a house or anything like that, and like can just, live in this cushy life. But he doesn't know anything about religion. So he gets up there and he's like, and it's this like fish out of water comedy. And he starts to kind of realize, hey, this is kind of wrong. And I won't spoil the ending, but it's kind of a feel good thing. It's funny, it's feel good, it's lighthearted, it's quirky. It's like Community, but in a church.
I was going to say that sounds a bit more like something Michael Scott would do. Just decide to become the pastor of a church without knowing anything. Okay, so on Instagram, I asked my followers if they had any questions for you, and this is what we got. So,
Questions for me?
It is time for Instagram questions. All right, first one is differences between creating content for TikTok versus other social media platforms like Instagram or YouTube.
That's a good question. I've noticed that on Instagram, people tend to be meaner. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I feel like the meanest comments come from Instagram. So I kind of make my Instagram reels more like about what I'm doing or my life, or like things that are like, one that I posted that was reasonably well received on Instagram was I put pictures of my grandmother, my mom, and myself all in the same dress,
Oh, yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
So like I'll post stuff like that. Whereas on TikTok, I'm less censored on TikTok. I don't care if I make something stupid and put it on TikTok. And then YouTube, obviously the videos are longer. I use YouTube more for like a vlog style content.
Sure.
Whereas on TikTok, I do more of like, so I guess reenactments, So
Yeah, like the pizza pie.
yeah.
Was that a real conversation?
It was, and a lot of people in the comments were like, this didn't happen, I'm from Ohio, and we know what pizza pie is. And I'm like, okay, I'm glad you do, but this person did say that to me. Like, I don't have receipts because it was 10 years ago, and it happened in person. But I did have a person who was like, pizza pie? That sounds disgusting. I was like, no, that's the whole thing. It's not a pie flavored like that's what you call the big circle. Anyway. So.
Well, I think it's safe to say your Ohio friend is an uncultured swine.
I was at church camp, so I didn't really know them very well.
Oh, good old church camp.
I loved church.
You want to know something? So church camp was the first place a girl kissed me.
That was where I had my first kiss too. Church camp.
Oh.
His name was Anthony, and he was from Long Island.
I'm not going to say the girl's name to spare her the embarrassment.
No, but like that's where all the greatest romance stories come from, is church camp.
Actually, isn't it? Yeah.
And I was such a loser in high school, right? And I was 16, and I had like never been kissed. I was like, I'm so old. Nobody's kissed me. This is way too old to have never been kissed. Looking back, it's I guess not that old, but I was like, I'm like the crypt keeper here. I'm in the grave. And so the night before we left for the trip, in my bed, I prayed and I said, dear God, please let me find a cute boy on mission trip. And the Lord provideth. So that is all the proof I need that God is real, because he gave me Anthony, and that was what I needed in that moment.
Shout out Anthony. What's going on, man?
We're still we're Facebook friends,
I had a very serious relationship with a girl named Cecilia. It was very serious. We were both 13, and you know how it is, you think, oh yeah, first relationship ever, and you're just a stupid kid. You have no idea.
Yeah.
But shout out Cecilia. I have not seen her since I was 15.
So did it last from 13 to 15? Because that's pretty long at that age.
Well, you know what? It might have been 13 to 14, actually. We would write each other letters and call each other over the phone. That's nice. It was, looking back, it's strange, but it's kind of oh.
Puppy love.
Yeah, exact. Perfect. Yeah, that's the perfect thing to call it.
Next question.
Other accents she can do.
Other accents. So I can turn on the meatball accent, the New York, New Jersey accent. That I have not been trained in. That is just because I live in this area, right? And my family talks like that on one side anyway. I kind of actively tried to not
pronounce things that way growing up. But you know, I can turn it on and off. The other accent that I have been trained in that I can do is a proper high British sort of accent. I've played some English roles in like Noel Coward plays, Mary Poppins, that sort of thing. So I know how to do that, you know, royal sort of sound. And I've never been trained in a Cockney accent, but I think I'm starting to figure it out. Just playing around with it, you know, at home, I don't know. But yeah, so one accent I tried to do miserably Russian. I cannot get Russian. It's so foreign to me. All the videos online say you gotta like pull your tongue back in your I just can't do it.
I attempted to do a Scottish accent in front of Tammy, aka We Scottish Lash, and she looked like she was gonna throw up. She was like, "Oh," but so how do you feel about kind of the accent you grew up with? Like, just I'm kind of curious how you feel about it.
Yeah, so I don't think that I personally really have a Jersey accent. And I've kind of actively tried to prevent developing one. I don't know. I guess
Huh.
like when I was at church camp, I had kids asking me like, "You don't sound like you're from New Jersey." And I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." They're like, "But can you do the accent?" Well, yeah, of course I can do the accent. I mean, I don't look down on people who talk like that. My family talks like that, you
Okay.
know?
So where I live, there's something called like the Midwest accent, and I've kind of grown to despise it in a way. And I think it's just because I associate it with it's looked as morally superior here to be like not creative, not have any type of personality, just be monotone as possible. And it's almost like this weird cultural thing that I maybe have a disconnect with. But that's why I ask. I was like, oh, maybe
Yeah.
it's just like a you grow up with it, you don't like it type of thing. But
Yeah, I think part of it was just I didn't want people to think I was dumb, you know?
hmm,
You kind of I wanted to speak properly, you know?
interesting. I kind of associate that with like toughness rather than like dumb.
Yeah, and now I do too because I'm an
Yeah.
adult and, you know, it's silly to judge people on how they sound, you know?
Well, yeah.
It does apply to the attitude though. I gotta say, anybody who kind of talks like that, it can come out, you know, that energy.
I dated a girl who lived in Tennessee for a while, and I noticed when she would get angry, her southern accent would get a lot stronger.
Yeah, I do kind of slip into it a little
Do
more when
you?
I'm angry. Just before we came on this call, somebody left a comment on one of my TikTok videos making fun of my eyebrows. I get that all the time, and I'm just fed up with it. I don't know. People hate my eyebrows, or some people love my eyebrows. They're very polarizing eyebrows. And so I was like, I'm gonna make a video about this. And I didn't intend to be using my meatball voice, but it just kind of came out because I was like, why does everybody have an opinion about my eyebrows? Um, so
I mean, they're symmetrical. I don't know what else there is to say.
I like this one better than this one, but they're a little thick. And this comment said that they were shaggy, and I'm like, all right, thank you. Next,
Shaggy.
you know, as if I haven't heard that my whole life.
If you really want people to try to hit on like a nerve, sign up for Twitter. That is like the place for people to just kind of like try to drop these little like backhanded compliments. I don't know if you're on Twitter.
I am, but I don't really use it much.
Yeah, I have one, and I don't know. It's kind of there's a lot of good memes on there, but there's a lot of just drama.
There's a lot of politics on Twitter too.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, yeah.
And I don't know. I'm just here for a good time, you know? Like I'm on social media for fun.
Yeah,
So
exactly. And then we got politicians trying to shut down TikTok. Like,
yeah, and that started happening right as soon as right when I started succeeding on it. And I was like, oh no.
yeah, I know, right? It's funny how like the entire user base just turns on every single person at Congress.
Next question.
And this was in all caps. Who dog is that?
Whose dog is that?
Who dog is that? Yeah, I'm guessing you have a dog.
I do have a dog. His name is Chewy. He is a 15-year-old Shih Tzu.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's unfortunate. I don't want to bring the mood down. He's on his way out.
Oh, no.
So I'm trying to feed him as much pizza crust as his heart can handle and give him a good time, you know. But he's 15.
I've
I
never
also
had a
have
dog.
3 cats.
You have 3 cats?
Yeah, I'm a big animal
Wow.
lover. and they keep finding me, and then I can't turn them away. So,
Oh, it's hard, isn't it? Like when they're so small and like helpless.
yeah, I had two cats, and we had a dog, and then I found a cat in the dumpster outside,
Um,
and I thought he was lost because he was so friendly, and I live in like a townhome complex. I was like, oh, somebody's cat got out. Let me bring him inside and I'll find his owner. Nobody claims him. He's not microchipped. I look for months. Nobody's claiming this cat. I was like, well, I can't keep him. I already have 3 pets. All the shelters are full. Nobody will take him. I put him up on Craigslist. Somebody takes him, brings him back. I do it again. Same story. And I was like, I guess this is just my cat now. So I named him Stink because I found him in the dumpster. And he's my son. I have too many animals really, but I love them. I just went on vacation and I was like, I feel so lost without, my boys to snuggle.
So you've got Stink, and then who's the other one?
I have 2 others. I have 2 other cats. One is named Buttons, and he is the sweetest cat. He's like his breed. They call him a rag doll, and it's true. You could like pick him up and shake him upside down, and he won't do anything. And he's just a snuggle bug. And then the other one is named Demon. He was a foster kitten, and we didn't intend to keep him either. And the shelter gave him a stupid name, or at least I thought it was a stupid name for a cat. And we're like, we're not going to call him that. And so we just jokingly started calling him the Demon because he was mean. He's a mean little kitten. And then one day we said the Demon, and he looked at us. And we were like, this is not our cat. He's learned his name as Demon. What have we done? That's not why we kept him. Nobody wanted him, so we kept him. But yeah, so it's kind of like Noelle's home for wayward animals here.
Do all the cats get along? Do they like fight or anything?
No, they don't. The one I found in the dumpster is vicious to the other 2. I keep them separate. I keep Stink in my room, and the others have roam of the house. They have free reign.
I love that you name your cat Stink.
Yeah, I also call him Stinky and Stinkerton and Stinkerton von Winkelstein and Stinkers. I've got all sorts of nicknames for that cat. I love that cat, and I don't know, he's a little wild. I wouldn't be surprised if he was just like a feral cat that I picked up, but.
Next question.
Favorite Jersey Shore cast member?
Ooh, that is a tough question. I didn't watch it too much, like I said. I mean, I feel like I gotta go with my girl Snooki, just because she and I are both short and have big personalities, and I do admire that later on in her life, she's kind of gotten her act together a little bit, I think.
I think they all have. Okay, so people can check you out on TikTok, and you have other socials?
Yeah, I'm on TikTok, Instagram. Everything is the same handle. It's all Noelle Kate 0101. It's my name, my middle name, and my birthday.
And then can people watch the first episode of your show?
I haven't put that out there publicly. The trailer is public. But like I said, I'm thinking it's time to just release it.
Maybe just the pilot. Maybe just the first episode, and
the
then Patreon, people can watch the rest of the series.
Give them a little taste.
Exactly. All right, Noelle, thank you so much for coming on. And again, you guys can check her out on TikTok.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.